Here at the Old Colony Museum located in Taunton, Massachusetts, is this display for King Philip's War. Now, the first case on the left here is going to show some images of King Philip, also known as Metacom, which is his native name. What's neat here is you got wampum, which is a currency that was used between the natives and the Europeans. You got this confirmatory deed signed on March 23rd, 1663. King Philip's signature on the bottom here. Over here, you have this musket. Now, the sign reads, "The natives, particularly King Philip and his allies, desired English weapon technology in the years just prior to King Philip's War. This 89-inch long, 28-pound musket is known as a John Thompson Fowler and was used for hunting birds. It shows signs of reworking in the lock and stock and represents a transitional, mid-century type of weapon. These types of muskets were so large and heavy that a gun fork, a Y-shaped piece of iron embedded in a pole, was often used for propping up the musket when aiming and firing. John Thompson was born in England and served as a militia lieutenant for Plymouth Colony. According to legend, when manning a post in Middleborough in the early days of the conflict with King Philip, Thompson gave the order to fire, and this weapon killed a Wampanoag about a mile away. The truth is that the Thompson gun could only fire about 50 yards. It is a gift of Joseph W. Hayward." And just above the musket is this timeline of King Philip's War, highlighting some of the significant events. And one of the most important ones was the murder of a praying Wampanoag, John Sassaman, whose native name was Wu Sassaman, who was killed on January 29th, 1674. So he was murdered by 3 Wampanoags who were affiliated with King Philip. They were tried on June 8th of that year, and 2 were executed by being hung. The third one, the rope broke, and he was reprieved for a month until he was executed by being shot. And then June 20th, the attack on Swansea. Although there were few attacks on Swansea, it was June 23rd that one of the colonists, John Salisbury, would kill one of King Philip's men, and that was June 23rd. So the next day, King Philip's men are going to retaliate, and they're going to kill about 10 colonists in Swansea, and that is going to kick off King Philip's War. And some more information on the war itself. And up here is a 1677 map of New England. So at the lower portion, you have Cape Cod. And around the northwest of this map, you have the Connecticut River. You have Springfield, which was attacked and burned by King Philip's men on October 5th, 1675. And then over here, you have the original headstone of Edward Babbitt, who was killed by natives in 1675, possibly a few days just after the war began in June. And the sign reads, "According to a local legend, in the earliest days of King Philip's War, Edward Babbitt, spelled Babbitt, and Babbitt, brought his family to a garrison house in the center of Taunton for safety. He, along with his dog, went back to his home in the Taunton South Purchase area to retrieve a cheese press. Along the road, he was surprised by a group of native warriors. Babbitt attempted to hide in a tree, but his barking dog gave away his location, and he was killed. Neighbors buried him at the spot and erected this crudely carved gravestone over what would be an early casualty of a very bloody war. It was gifted by Samuel F. Babbitt." So for anyone that has any interest in King Philip's War, here at the Old Colony Museum is a display of the war along with real artifacts from it.